Good Monday morning, everyone. This is Ruben Escalona and my wife Veronica with another episode of Red Alpha Mugshot Monday. We got an exciting show for you today. We're going to do a weekend recap, project spotlight. Of course, my wife's famous coffee break is going to be in the mix. We got our showmate segment. We got exciting stuff to talk about there. And then behind the X's and O's. And so I'm excited to get into this. And but of course, it can't be a Mugshot Monday without introducing our mugs. And this week, once again, I'm going to stick with the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday mug. I feel like it's important for us to just show you the brand, every week. So that way you can be brainwashed into buying mugs, buying merch for the Red Alpha Mugshot, and tuning into our podcast, which we are trying to commit to doing every single week. If not, it's going to be every 2 weeks or something like that. But we also need stuff to talk about. So we need to go out and live life and
not just work.
Not just work, right? So, getting right into this, the first section that we normally do is we do a weekend recap. So if we're going out of town or anything special that we do that's outside of work, the weekend recap, we'll talk about that. But this past weekend was a working weekend for us, another one. We didn't do much as far as personal. So what we're trying to do is trying to stack as much as we can on our calendar. So that way for the Thanksgiving, we're able to take most of that week off. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. That's my coffee mug. And I wanted to give my lovely lady an opportunity to introduce the mug she's got this week.
Well, it's time.
Okay.
I got my Christmas mug ready with the Grinch.
Oh, yeah.
It says Merry Grinchmas.
Merry Grinchmas. That was her Mariah Carey, by the way, for everybody who's not hip. It is definitely time, and actually, we're kind of like in a full holiday mode. We're promoting what I'm calling the Red Alpha holiday gift idea daily. And then we're also we're promoting our ugly Christmas sweaters, which for those of you who have done business with us, we have an Etsy shop. That's where it actually started, on Etsy back in 2016. And we've been selling ugly sweaters there. And then over the course of the last couple of years, I've been adding them to our website. And so now you have your choice to where you can go to our Etsy shop. It's Red Alpha Custom, and pretty soon we'll have a custom URL for that. So I mean, within a week we should have that set up. It's going to have a new look on our Etsy shop, and so I'm excited about that. But our Etsy is going to it's mainly focused for holiday shopping. So any gifts that we may have, primarily the ugly Christmas sweaters, those are going to be up on that. And then our Shopify website, the main website is where you can kind of see a little bit of everything. We got the Red Alpha Originals. We got our, our vehicle wraps and sign solutions. We have trade show displays on there, canvas wraps. I mean, just business cards, everything that we pretty much offer. We have a listing on our website to where you can order 24/7, 365, and don't have to call us. You could just, show up whenever we say that it's ready to pick up. And so it's really convenient. So we're looking ahead and all that stuff. And so e-commerce is definitely, during this time of year, it's something that has grown in our business. And we're doing everything that we can to grow that side of our business. E-commerce is where it's at, and we can reach people from all over the place. As a matter of fact, we're sending our first, not our first order, but it seems like it's starting early, our ugly Christmas sweaters. And so we had 2 this past week that are going out to different places. Do you remember where they're going?
One is Sandusky, Ohio. I only remember it because of Tommy Boy.
Oh, yeah, Sandusky. Going out to Tommy Boy, probably. And then we got another one that went out. Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
So it's going out of the state. So most of our sales that come in through Etsy are from out of state, even some in other countries that we've sold before. And so we're excited about that. We'll have new new Red Alpha original designs that we're going to put out there. In particular, one that I'm excited about, which is our new influencer, the Petty Elf. Mm-hmm. And so if you guys follow us, our pages, even personal pages, you'll see that the Petty Elf has her own blog. She has her own landing page, and she even has her own line of ugly Christmas sweaters. And so we hired her. Now, right? She's going to be an AI influencer. And so we hired her to give us all the gossip, the behind the scenes stuff that's going on at the North Pole. And so she's been doing a good job. It's like 60 something days, I believe, that we're doing a daily blog and daily posts, that are going on in the North Pole. Mm-hmm. And so right now it's a pretty good storyline that's going in. And so you guys check that out. The Petty Elf blog, it's all right there on our website. And just look at the story. Once we wrap up the season, we'll package it in a story type format, so that way we can kind of read the story to you like if we're reading a book, which is going to be cool. And if we could get the Petty Elf to come out and do it, that would just be amazing. So we'll see how that goes. So that's it for the weekend recap. But let's since it was a working weekend, we did have some work that we were in particular that I wanted to highlight. It's with our fleet maintenance service that we offer. Our client, Strong Concrete, we go out there, every so often, and we replace decals that are coming off, and we inspect the decals. We try to do it, every 3 months. Mm-hmm. Every 3 months, we go out there to their location, and we look at all the mixers and the haulers, and we inspect every decal that's on there. If there's any lifting, if there's any heavy scratching, anything of that nature to where it needs to be replaced, we make sure that we get them taken care of, back on the road, looking sharp, mm-hmm. and laying concrete all over Abilene for sure. And so our fleet maintenance service is one that we would sit down with the fleet manager of the company, and we would discuss the scheduling, obviously pricing and things like that, the material that we use, and really one thing that we needed to from the beginning is like understand their process for for cleaning the vehicles. Mm-hmm. Right. That's something that we've learned along the way, and I think that as we're going on over 2 years, right, to where we've offered this service to them, and so I think it's preparing us for for the future, for any other companies that are looking to partner with a print shop like us to handle your fleet. It doesn't have to be concrete mixers. Any type of fleet that you have that to where the wear and tear of your industry requires you to have these decals replaced. We want to be your print partner. We have experience, like I said, and then we have the expertise to install it. Mm-hmm. And so we're really flexible. I think that we're a user-friendly company.
Yes.
Right. So we will adapt and adjust to how you do business, and we'll come up with a program or a plan that works for both of us. Right. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of how we do everything, but that's definitely how we do it with our fleet management service. So there's a little bit about that. That's our project spotlight. We were busy doing some concrete mixers, and we posted some pictures and all that. And so that's pretty much took up all our weekend. And we're doing some printing behind the scenes for some Christmas lights and magnets. And we're just kind of like firing on all cylinders right now. Mm-hmm. So it was go time this weekend. But what else do we need to add to that recap project spotlight segment that you can think of?
I think you got it all.
Yeah. Is there anything about the fleet management service that, from your side of the business that you would add? Like I'm primarily the main installer. I'm the one who's going to initiate the sale, but then once we get that, the one who keeps it going and keeps it organized, scheduling and all of that stuff is my lovely wife right there. Mm-hmm. She's our head administrator when it comes to these things, and So she keeps us on point. She makes sure that she's in regular communication with the fleet manager and seeing what their schedule is and when we could come out and knock out the next ones. But what is something that you can share with our viewers about the fleet maintenance service?
Well, it's just organization. They have about over 35 units, and so just keeping everything in order, like making a spreadsheet. I still use spreadsheets to keep them organized and make sure that and as new ones are coming in, adding them to the spreadsheet, and that way, whenever we go out there to inspect, we know which ones are there, and then if we need to come back to inspect ones that are not on the lot, and then making a note of what to replace on each side of the barrel. Keeping those notes. So we it's just a lot of spreadsheets, notes, and updating our logs.
Right. Scheduling is a big part of this, because it's like we have our normal calendar, our production calendars, but then when it comes to the fleet, it's a different type of scheduling because you're working around, like these mixers are going out every day.
They're going out and making them money.
Making that money, yeah. And so they are busy. And so just the expansion that they've done over the last few years, well, especially since we've taken over.
Yeah.
I mean, since we've taken over that part, they have grown from, like, I don't even know if they had 10 at that time.
No, I think, well, whenever we started, we did 3.
Yeah, so we did 3, and then they started expanding. And I mean, it just like, just accelerated growth, which is really cool. We're proud of them, and we're happy to be a part of their team. So happy that I'm hoping that they'll invite us to their Christmas party. Yeah, I'll be there as the janitor. It don't matter, just so that I get some of that barbecue. Shout out to Even Though Barbecue. He's another customer of ours, and he told me that they're going to be doing their Christmas party this year. So if you guys know, Juan over there at Even Though makes some really good barbecue. Anytime that he's making it on the side or whatever, I say, hey, just give me a call and we'll go get some sandwiches or the Sergeant. I haven't had the Sergeant Major, but their chimichangas are really good. And so there's a plug for you, man. Make sure you like and share it because I did that for you. But so moving on to the next thing, it's a segment that I stay excited about, right? It's our showmate segment. For those of you who are just tuning in, or maybe you never heard of us before, the Showmates segment is actually a brand of ours, a brand of Red Alpha original brand. And we have several designs that are out there that are inspired by our favorite shows. And we didn't even know that we were Showmates until we kind of got into it. Right? We started watching, like back before we even had Netflix, we were, there were times whenever we didn't even have internet. So we were, getting shows from the library and watching them, and so, I don't remember the exact show, but it had to have been Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, that got me hooked on the shows. We were watching stuff before that.
Yes,
right?
We're watching like TV shows.
TV shows, but
like the comedy.
The comedies. And I've always been into that. Yeah, Community.
The Office.
Yeah, and so even before that, like I'm a kid that watched Al Bundy, and so that was kind of thing. And then
and whenever you say, oh, I used to watch this when you were a kid, I'm like, hey, I used to watch that too. And then I think to myself, we were watching it at the same time. Yeah. We were connected.
Yeah, pretty much. So we were watching our shows back then, the sitcoms, right? But so it just happened, and so The Walking Dead got me really into
definitely.
It. Breaking Bad was like just reinforced it. And then, just one day I was just like, you know what, you're my showmate. And I think it's important to have a showmate, out there. And it's extra special that the showmate is actually my wife because you're my mate. You're my soulmate.
Yeah.
You're my showmate. You're my swole mate. You're my everything mate. And so it just makes it extra special because we can get into the shows and we can, dissect it in our own personalities, right? I think you're real good at dissecting certain characters and things like that. And I'm like more detailed about, like how they influence the story. I think that's kind of how and then I start bringing the outside perspective into the show. And because that's what when I'm watching that, I was like, for example, the show that we're watching now, we just watched the first episode of the new season of Landman, and go and watch that if you guys aren't into it. I thought at first when that show came out that I had to be in the oil field to appreciate it. But that's kind of similar to like every show. It's like you think that you have to be like in that world to actually appreciate it. But when these guys, write these stories and they have good actors to bring those stories to life, you just get engaged. Like I'm a landman now. When I'm watching that show, I'm like, man, I'm in there. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with it, Landman is basically, it's in the oil field industry, and it follows the life of Tommy Norris, right? Which is what's his real name? Yeah, so Billy Bob Thornton plays Tommy Norris, who is a landman, which he basically he's the guy that handles all the contracts and all the personnel type, organization and it shows all the things that he has to deal with just to get these rigs pumping oil, right? All the ins and outs, but it shows his personal life. And then, dealing with, people that are coming up against them drilling in those areas, cartel and things like that. And it's just it's really cool to kind of see, what goes on, because we just know that whenever we're pumping gas or, that's the only, experience that we have with it. But there's a lot of things that go into play. And so the show just does it really well. I personally like, my favorite characters of the show are going to be Tommy and his son Cooper. Those are probably my favorite characters. And so what we found in this season, right, is that Tom, the president of the company that Tommy's working for, passes away, has a heart attack, and so his wife, who's played by Demi Moore, she's taken over, and she had her first, like a fundraiser type meeting, right, where all of the big guys are coming in and they're trying to see who's going to be taken over, and they're talking to Tommy about, that now would be a good time to sell, and of course they're going to try to make a deal, and so Tommy is telling her, hey, all the bad deals are going to come to you, but you just deferred them to me. He said the good deals are going to come to me just because they're used to working with Tommy, but then they're going to try to take advantage of her. And so one of the ways that they illustrate like she has to like dig deep is whenever she was getting prepared for the meeting, she goes into the bathroom and it shows those two young girls that they were getting ready because they were there so that way they can like flirt and seduce with one of the oil guys, right? And so
they were gold diggers,
right? They were
oil diggers,
and so whenever what's her name? Demi Moore. Look up her name and see.
Her name's Cami.
Cami. Okay, so whenever Cami goes in, she's fixing her makeup and really just trying to get herself together because it's the first meeting after her husband passes away, and so these girls are like, the divorce doctors convention is in the other building. And she was like, what? And she's like, this is a young girls game, right? Yeah. And so they thought that she was there for the same thing that they were, right? And so it was pretty cool that, they showed them seeing her, right, as the boss. So she went up there, and I think they could have done a little bit more, right? It basically just showed her the boss, and it's like them looking a little, it wasn't even them really looking embarrassed. It was more the man losing interest in them because, he was like, man, I got to deal with all this stuff. Right. And, and so that was kind of cool with that right there. And then it goes from there. What, go ahead and chime in, like the story, that's where it starts. Right. And then we start seeing, Cooper and his girlfriend, Cooper went out and got him a well, right?
Yeah.
And so he seems to have a good mind for that, right? And so him and his girlfriend, they I guess they came across a little money, and with the passing away of her husband, right?
Yeah.
And so so he invests in that, and it looks like it's going to pay off, right?
Yeah.
At least this episode, it looks like it's going to pay off. They were saying something about, conservatively 500 barrels a day, which was, was going to make them a lot of money, like 10 million a year. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was like he was figuring it out, and it shows him as he's good at numbers. Like he doesn't need a calculator. He's like, that basically means, based on the price of the barrel, this is how much we're going to be making every day. It's going to be about $10 million a year. And then he said, and right over here, this is going to be our second one. So he's already thinking about growing, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. But those, Cooper, Tommy, I like Dale, which is, Tommy's best friend. He's just one of those dudes that are like, he's just kind of going with the flow, a loyal guy, been with Tommy since the beginning pretty much. And I enjoy the friendship. They're so good friends that he knows Tommy's wife, which I loathe. I loathe Angela Norris. I don't like her character. Man, what do you think about her?
I don't know. Even me, I was like, oh, okay, that's like, you're crazy. I don't know. She's just over the top, way over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. And so her daughter is just like her. Right. And it's like, so her daughter gets into, what's her daughter's name? Ainsley. She gets into TCU, right? And she goes up into the interview, and she's like,
that was hilarious.
She doesn't know. Gosh, she doesn't know how dumb she is. Right.
The lady that was interviewing her, she was like using these big words, and then she's like, You're using those words again that I don't understand. And she started crying. She goes, yes, I'm doing that on purpose. Yeah. She's like, thank you.
Yeah. And so she asked her one of the words that was funny that she said, so how is this going to precipitate? And she's like, precipitate. Oh, no, it's not raining.
It doesn't rain much over here.
I was like, man,
Oh, man, that was hilarious.
And so she basically, because she was like a priority, probably because of the money, right? Because of, the money that
I think it was because of her cheerleading.
Okay.
When she was in high school. And so that kind of gave her like the priority to get into that school. But then the lady that was interviewing, she was like, well, unfortunately, like if it was up to her, she wouldn't have accepted her, but she meets the minimum requirements. And so she had to, accept her.
Yeah.
And so she was all excited.
And so Tommy, man, it's like, so the daughter and the wife, I mean, they just drive him nuts. And, for the prayer, he says, Lord, I ask for patience.
I'm like, man, you asked for the wrong thing.
That's right. And
if anybody knows.
Exactly. If anybody knows, it's me, right? It's us. So one thing that I've learned along the way, this is just a nugget that doesn't necessarily have to do with shopping.
No.
Here's a nugget. But for those of you who pray, my advice to you is do not pray for patience, right? Work at being patient. Because when you're praying for patience, this is how I thought of it. God, give me patience, right? And so I'm thinking, I'm going to have a long line at the grocery store, or going to get stuck in traffic, or, I'm going to wait a little longer for my food at the restaurant, those things like that, right?
That or something is just going to overcome you and it's going to be patience.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
on you.
All of a sudden, Axl Rose is going to be singing patience, and then
you're patient.
I'm patient. It doesn't happen that way.
Wrong. False.
Exactly. The way that you become patient is you get put in situations to where you don't have no choice but to be patient. Like there's nothing you can do. You have to be patient. And that right there is a frustrating feeling because it's like, if you're not patient, you're going to try to overcompensate. You're going to try to control things that are out of your control. You're not going to recognize the things that are in your control because you're so focused on the things that are out of your control. And then you're going to be a nervous wreck. Right. Your health is going to fade. And it's just, you're going to be like kind of overcome with anxiety. And so just a little tip, do not pray for patience. Practice patience, right? Whenever you become in the situation, do something that would equal patience, right? Don't do it the same way and expect God to magically, give you patience. I see people all the time praying. I mean, you're not praying if you're posting on social media, first of all. That's just my opinion. If you're posting a prayer on social media, that's not going to help you, right? You need to get on your knees and you need to go directly to God, right? Go into his word. Don't go into social media and don't ask other people to pray for you on social media. Have you seen how jacked up these people's lives are? I mean, I'm not asking anybody on my friends to ask me, to pray for anything until after I've gone first to God. I'm going to go to God first. And then after that, maybe, but I never do. But maybe, after I've done everything that I know I can do, then I may say, hey, help me pray. But then that's like a gamble. Like maybe I'll give the smallest prayers to my friends on social media. And no offense to anyone in particular on my social media, but you're not in charge of my breakthrough or my petitions, right? I am. That's between me and God. And so I try to keep it that way, so everybody do what you got to do your own thing. That's cool. But do not pray for patience like Tommy did, right? And he needs it. He needs it to stay married to his wife.
Yes.
Right. And he's like, oh, it's going to drive me to drinking. Right. And again, right. So hopefully we don't see too much of that anymore. But but she's playing her part like to a T.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, she's obviously he met her, and it wasn't because of her brains. Right. And and so, and she's not with him because of his looks or anything like that, and she is with him because of the money that he makes, right? And so more power to them. Nothing wrong with that, And I know you're with me with my looks, right?
Yes.
And I'm for my looks, right? Not the money that I make. And I'm with you for your brains and your looks.
Okay.
And all of that stuff. Right. And so you're also funny, right? So it's there's a lot of things that I get to enjoy because of you.
Thank you.
You and my
too.
wife, but yeah.
You're hilarious.
Yeah. Thank you. And so that's Landman. We're invested in this thing, not as much as some of the other shows, but it's early, right? And we just kind of threw the Landman on the showmates. We just saw the episode, and so we watched so many shows that we weren't really prepared. But we did do like a breakdown, I think last year or something on one of the seasons, and we discussed it a little bit. And so we'll come back and maybe do a full breakdown where it'll be just the showmates. So that's something aside from from these segments right here, which are actually a part of our Mugshot Monday. But moving on to the next thing, it's our famous coffee break, the Red Alpha Mugshot coffee break, and we need to play a song or ring a bell or something like that. But this is the segment where I actually take a break from talking, and I give the mic over to my lovely wife so that she could talk about some of her random thoughts or things that are going on in her world, even though our world is together, but in her world, so that way she can share with you guys. The Red Alpha coffee break. Take it away, man.
So, Thanksgiving's coming up, and last year I told myself that I was going to start early this year to buying the stuff that I need, right? Because last thing anybody wants to do is go to HEB last minute, 2 or 3 days before Thanksgiving to get what you need. You need to start planning and buying stuff early. And I didn't do it. I didn't do it, even though I told myself I was going to do it. So it's like, not necessarily so much the food, well, the canned goods, things that are bagged, but like the paper plates, all the containers, aluminum foil containers that I use, for all the various sides and all the multiple Thanksgiving meals that I cook for our family.
Yep.
I usually cook about 4 Thanksgiving meals during the Thanksgiving season. Usually 3, but this time it's going to be 4. And so I got my list, of I do the sides, I do the stuffing, mashed potatoes, corn, green beans. I do my famous fruit salad, and I prep all that, and then we get the desserts. Those are already made, but no big deal.
Gotta have pecan pie.
Pumpkin pie. Y'all tell us which one it is, pecan or pumpkin pie.
Yeah, in the comment section, tell us which one's your favorite, and why we should go that way. I mean, I like pecan pie. I've had pecan pie like every Thanksgiving for my entire life, I think, right? And
Since you were a fetus?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, as far as back as I can remember, pecan pie, especially my adult life, it's like, that's got to have pecan pie and, next to the Thanksgiving meal. So this one is actually special for us too, because, we're going to be in Austin for the first part of the week. We're going to come back here in the middle of the week, and we're going to do our thing here. Yes. And then we got our kids from Lubbock that are going to come and share the rest of the week with us, Friday, Saturday, that range. We got we have our routine to where it's like when you're a blended family, you can either choose holidays, right? You guys are Thanksgiving and you guys are Christmas. We don't do that. We're like everybody all the time. We'll go to Austin for a couple of days. It doesn't matter, if we're going to eat Thanksgiving 4 or 5 times, but we're going to do it, right? And then we got, you got your mom, you got your dad, you got your siblings, we got our kids that they got their things, and so we just make it work. We provide we're the bridge that brings everybody together. Right. Yeah. And so that's what we try to do. Just we provide the venue, so to speak, or the meals, and then we just kind of make it happen. We show everybody that they're just as important as the other one. Nobody gets left out in this family. And even if I have to stay fat, 365, just know that it's a good reason why I'm doing it. It's because I'm putting my family before my health.
For 1 week.
For 1 week, right? But speaking of that, I mean, it's like, our next segment is one where we usually go pretty deep, but I think this one's going to be kind of light, right? But for our next segment, it's behind the X's and O's. And so, as you guys know, that right there was developed so that we can kind of express ourselves from a behind the scenes, position, to let you guys know that we're not just, a business. We got our lives that go on, and I know as a business, sometimes it's hard to share, some of the more personal things or behind the scenes stuff because you're so busy sharing the highlights and you're sharing, promoting a product or a new service or, highlighting a customer or an employee or something like that. But I believe that the relationships that you build in business, right? These become friendships. They become, things that are outside of the product and service, to where they come to you because they like you, right? They can relate to you. And, maybe you share the same values or something that keeps them coming to you. And so that's what we want to do with the Behind the X's and O's. We want you guys to see us outside of the products and services, because I think that if you get to know me, you'll see that I'm a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's cool that I'm good at the stuff that we do, but I'm actually a cool person.
Yes, you're
right?
swell.
I'm a swell guy, right? And you're a swell gal,
Thanks.
right?
Thanks.
Just good, down to earth people. Love to laugh. Love to, just experience as much as we can, and we love to spend time with our family.
Yeah.
And our grandkids got our hearts for sure. We got 2 grandsons, and man, that's what it's all about. That's why we do what we do, so that we can be the best, husband and wife, the best father and mother, the best grandpa and grandma, that we can be. And of course, if we have any extra room, we're going to be a good brother, good sister, good son, after we've taken care of the priority, right? Which is our main ministry. But the topic for the behind the X's and O's, it's, I wrote down here the gym and the importance, of going to the gym for your business. We know how important it is to exercise and to try to eat healthy for our own personal, health, right? That's very important, right? Because if you want to live a good life, your health is important.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to be struggling. We're both in our 50s, and so it is really important for us to not only be able to do our jobs, right, getting up ladders and installing and things like that, but we want to be able to run with our grandkids, lift them up, and that's personal stuff that we want to be able to do. But when it comes to business, right, I think that the way that you take care of your health in business is a sign of customer service, right? Because how can you care about somebody else when you don't care about yourself, right?
Yeah.
If you don't care about yourself, I think that right, it impacts, how you take care of your customers, right? And nothing against people. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't, be out of shape and unhealthy and care for other people. I mean, obviously you can, right? But I do think that there's a connection there, and definitely if you're in sales, the better shape that you're in, the more confidence that you usually are, to when you're going in and closing a deal, and just being comfortable around customers and going into new areas, where people that you don't even know, that confidence, it plays a big part, right? And it's not confidence like, I'm better than everybody. It's just you're comfortable in your own skin, right? If you're comfortable, being out of shape, well, that's cool. That's my problem, is that I'm confident regardless of if I'm overweight, or if I'm even more confident whenever I'm in better shape, right? And so borderline arrogance, right? So, when you see me gain weight and getting out of shape and that kind of thing, it's not because I'm undisciplined. It's because I don't want to be too confident, right? I don't want to be too confident. It's not fair for me to be too confident, because then it gets mistaken for arrogance, right? And confidence is frowned upon in this establishment, right? And you got to be humble, right? So I humbled myself with a double meat cheeseburger, what a size fries and a drink, and I do that for you. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, right? But no, I mean, being serious about it, I don't want my health to be so bad that I can't, do my job. Whenever we're installing trailers or we're doing any type of windows, I got to get up and down a ladder.
And down ladders.
Right? And so I got to lift my weight, and then if we're getting vehicles where it's down low, I got to be able to move down, get up, go,
maneuver around
all of that
corners,
stuff.
crevices, tight spots.
Yeah. And so, the more out of shape you get, the older that you get, the harder it is to do that stuff, but age isn't the main thing. I mean, if you're going and you're getting a good, a good workout, today, thankfully we were able to get up early and get a quick workout in. It wasn't a long workout, but it was good. We did a few minutes on the treadmill. We got our biceps, got some blood pumping in the biceps, but I could still kind of feel it, and excited to take on the day. It does something for your mindset. Whenever you you get like a sense of accomplishment.
Yes.
It's like, man, I knocked out the workout. I don't have to worry about doing it at the end of the day, because that's our problem. If we don't get it done early, at the end of the day, it's kind of 6-7. No, sorry guys. I didn't mean to do that. I was just like, it's hit or miss, and I was like, it's kind of sick.
Oh, I can't believe you did that, babe.
Right, I know. But I did. And so it's kind of hit or miss whether or not we're going to do it, and so
yes, the
gym. And so we're more consistent whenever we can discipline ourselves to wake up early and then get the workout in, and then we don't have to worry about it, right? So that's our biggest challenge, is waking up early, right? Because what that means is that we have to turn off the TV early the night before so that we can get a good night's sleep. Because I'm not going to go without having my sleep. I got to get 7 hours minimum, right? 7 to 8 hours is good. This past Sunday, I was able to sleep at least 8 hours, maybe 9 hours. And I was like, man, I can sleep all day. Just because we're getting up early every single day and working, every day, right? So it's nice to kind of sleep in. And for me, sleeping in is about 8 o'clock in the morning now. It's like, that's sleeping in, right? And so, but today we were up 5 o'clock. You were up a little bit before me. We were at the gym, close to 5:30. We did about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more, about 30 minutes, and got our quick workout. And so now we get to plan to go again, and then hopefully we can stay consistent for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
Right? Because this is a lifestyle. It's not something that we're trying to, get in shape for, a wedding, even though that is a good motivator, right? But it just has to be a lifestyle. And I think that, I actually believe that it's just the key principle that ties into everything, right? So the key to health, or the key to healing, is healthy living, right? And imagine how that works, right? So don't pray for God to, to bless that cinnamon roll that you're about to eat, right? I mean, because it's not made with good ingredients.
It's already blessed because it's so delicious.
That's right. So it's delicious, right? So that's one thing, but it's not going to be good for your health.
No.
Right? And so
one is okay, but
no, good for your health. It's either good for your health or bad for your health, right? So it's either good for your health or it's bad for your health, right? It's not going to kill you, but is it good for your health? No.
No,
right?
Soda's not good for you.
Yeah. I'm not saying like, hey, this is bad or this is good. So whenever, like, soda's my thing. So she says that because her thing would be the cinnamon roll or the conchas, right? So I think she feels attacked, right? And so that's the reason why she said soda. That was her passive aggressive response, right? And so so soda. Whenever I drink soda, I'm not going to ask God to bless the soda because I know good and well what I'm getting into. I'm like Kevin in The Office. I understand completely what's going to happen to my body whenever I drink this. And I'm not going to ask God, hey, God, can you bless this? Even though I know that it's going to, destroy the lining of my stomach. And even though, the high fructose corn syrup, my body can't do anything with that. And no, I'm not going to ask God. I'm not even going to ask him for forgiveness. I'm just going to try not to do it as much. Right. So that's the difference. I'm not going to pray for God to bless something that I know is not good for me, So I don't pray for my food like that anymore. I thank God for the ability for the meal. Like, God, thank you that, we were able to have this meal where we're not going to bed hungry. I thank him for that, but I do not bless my food anymore, or try to bless my food. because it's bless the person who prepared the food. That's something a little different, right? They made that cinnamon roll really delicious. So bless them for that, because it brings me a little bit of happiness. The dopamine spikes.
Spike.
So there is a positive to it, because my mindset is positive. Whenever I'm eating it, I'm happy, right? And it's funny, if you think about it, when it comes to this is me. So if I'm ever feeling like I don't feel so good, like we were gonna go to the concrete to do the mixers, right? And I was like, you know what? Let's go to Sonic. I want to get me a Route 44 Coke.
Yeah.
Right. And I was doing that specifically because I really wanted to take a nap. Like it was, by the time we were going out there, it's like mid-afternoon, and I was like, man, I just want to take a nap. So I wasn't feeling it, right? And I was like, but you know what will make me feel better? A Route 44 Coke.
Yeah.
I didn't need another podcast. I didn't need to read a scripture in the Bible, or I didn't need you to tell me something, give me a compliment or anything like that. I needed some high fructose corn syrup. That does the trick every time, boy. I'm like, after a hard day, some people go to alcohol and stuff like that, but sometimes after a hard day, a Route 44 Coke, and especially if you go in happy hour.
Yes.
You go to happy hour, that makes it even better, because I'm paying half price on it. Man.
Those Route 44s are like $3.50.
Yeah, and it's well worth it.
That's crazy.
Because mental health is important, right? And so on it's like a contradiction, because on one hand, it's bad for my health, physical health. But on the other hand, that moment is good for my mental health.
Yeah.
Because it's making me happy.
You're happy.
Right? And so there's like a, you
like did it again. You did the 6-7 again.
It's like a dilemma, right? It's a dilemma, right? So, you got to think about that, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, so whenever the fast food, even whenever we go get donuts and things like that, we have to be strategic about it, because if you're, there's a thing called diet fatigue, when you're trying to fast, and you're trying to eat healthy, and you do it for so long, and then you just kind of get tired of it, so you want to have a cheat meal. At least I do. Maybe all disciplined people don't ever need it.
It's just us.
Just us. Yeah,
us.
We're the only ones who struggle, right? It's like, man, if I can eat unhealthy and still be healthy, I'd be the best at it, right? It's like, it's not that I don't want my body to. It's just that I want to be happy, right? It's that happiness feeling. Those chemists, those people, they know what they're doing, right?
They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, just like whenever we were watching what were we watching? Oh, the UFC fights. When we were watching the UFC fights, it's like, okay, so I want like some chips and salsa, and so she goes to get some Julio's chips. And the first couple of she was dipping it into the salsa. She's like, man, that GMO is off the chain.
MSG.
Oh, the MSG. The MSG is off the chain. I've never seen her so excited in my life, man. She's just like, her pupils were dilated. And she's like, no. She was eating it up. And so I don't blame her, because before she got there, I was like, already had half the bag knocked out. And I just cannot stop.
I know.
Those chips in particular.
Yeah.
With the salsa.
With their salsa.
It's hard to stop. I'll sit there and like I'm not even thinking about it. It's just like it's hitting the side of my brain that turns off the logic.
Yes.
Like it turns off that whatever part of your brain that says, hey, you don't need another chip.
Yeah, you had enough. You
had enough, right? And that whatever that chemical concoction that they come up with, right? It turns that off in your brain, and then you're just sitting there, and you'll be like mindlessly.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a whole ensemble of things going on. So your senses, right? It's your taste buds, obviously, but then the crunch, the feel in your, the feel of the chip in your hand, dipping it, like all that, the smell, it all works together. Yeah.
And then of course doing something that you like, right? So usually you're going to have them and you're going to watch a movie, you're going to have family over, there's other food that that you have with it. And so it's the connection, right? So it's like, man, whenever we have these chips or whatever it is that you're going to, it's tied to another experience that brings you happiness, right? Or that joy. And so it's kind of like, oh, I know next time we get this, I'm going to feel that same feeling, right?
Yeah.
You know, and they know that.
Yes.
They know that. They're like, hey, we're going to put this thing right here because it makes them happy. It makes them feel okay that they just screwed up at their job. You know, it makes, whenever we mess up on a project, man, some Julio's chips will make me forget all about it, man. I'll be like, a Route 44 Coke. All I need is a Route 44 Coke and some Julio's chips. And I forgot the worst mistake that I've ever made in my life, right? It's like, that's nothing. We live to fight another day around here.
Yeah.
And but what were we talking about? The gym.
The gym.
So it's important. It's important to make an attempt and to get up and try again and at least like go out and try to get a workout.
Again, yes.
There's so much like research that studies that have been done that, I mean, if you just go for like an hour a week, like you can go 10 minutes, 20 minutes or whatever, it doesn't have to be an hour or 2 hour workouts, right? All you got to do is get off your butt and go for a walk, do something, that's physical. Nowadays everybody's sitting down doing their jobs, and so do something physical, and then try to limit the junk that you eat, then you'll live longer. Yeah. I've seen people just totally disregard their health and their body and live to be 75 years old. So imagine if you just take it easy, right? 100, you hit 100 easy. We're going to find out. So if you guys keep tuning in, till we're 100 years old, then we'll see if I'm right or wrong. I won't be here if I die before then, but my goal is to hit 100 plus,
we'll just make a hologram of you.
Make a hologram. There you go. I'll be an AI influencer by then. Actually, be able to take my consciousness and put it into a Tesla robot, and then so I'll be around. Yeah, so I will be here. I will be here forever. You can bank on that, right? But that's it. That's it for our Red Off a Mugshot podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed, the segments that we did. I hope that we made you laugh. We didn't really provoke any serious thought this time. We try to keep it on the light side, but for those of you who are connected with us on social media, we thank you. Those of you who are sharing our content, we appreciate that. We are full holiday mode, right now. So if you guys are looking for, some hoodies for your company, beanies, sweatshirts, you're looking for some signage or anything like that can be a gift, some canvas prints or acrylic prints, things like that, give us a call and we'll help you. And don't forget that we're right in the middle of our Red Alpha Ugly Christmas sweater season. Yeah. So buy a sweater. We're promoting them all the time. Usually you can click on that link and just go directly to either our Etsy shop or our main website, and the collection is right there. And so we're going to be adding new designs, hopefully here once a week, but just randomly, but there'll be more. But we already have, probably over 30 designs, right? And we don't copy other people's stuff. We do original designs. So if you want a Red Alpha original, trust me, it's going to be, the design is going to be great. The quality of the print's going to be great. And I think that it'll earn you more respect with your peers. It definitely will make you attractive to everybody. You'll be the most popular person at the Christmas party. Yeah, and so get yourself a Red Alpha ugly Christmas sweater and go out and get the respect that you deserve. Right? Yes. So that's it. Sign us off.
This is Ruben and Veronica, Red Alpha out.